Okay, now if you remember from day 3, we set up camp on the 01, just south of Fremont Indian Reservation. From there, we headed north and connected trails 79, 13, and 15 to reach Forest Service Road 1020. The thing to note about the Forest Service roads in this area is that they're more like wide trails. Most of these roads are not very well traveled. And our only guess as to why is because you really have to pay attention on the maps to even notice them. On the Nat Geo map, these roads are shown but not labeled. Luckily, the National Forest map labels these roads, making your route planning a bit easier. Oh sure, there are shorter routes to get to the top of the Tushars, like heading back up the 01 or Trail 13. But then you'd miss out on great riding and some very spectacular views. Now if you do explore some of these back roads, and you're an experienced rider that enjoys a more challenging trail, be sure Road 1045 is on your list. And because there are some sections of this trail that are really steep and off camber, this road should only be ridden by some fairly experienced riders. As a matter of fact, with all the fuel, water, and gear that we had, we came to a section of the trail where it wasn't safe for us to continue. And believe me, turning around or even backing down a steep off-camber hill with lots of gear, yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. But luckily, there were some amazing views of the Tushars from our stopping point. And if you do take Trail 1045, it's not a loop, so you get the pleasure of riding it twice. From here, we connected back with the 1020 and continued our climb towards Mount Belknap.
It's day 4 of our 5-day trek. We're currently standing at Tip Top in the Tushar Mountains. We broke camp this morning near the Fremont Indian Reservation, took a series of county roads and forest roads to get on Forest Road 1040, and here we are. Elevation is 9,800 feet. So our plan is to continue heading south across the Tushar Mountains, set up camp for the night.
You know, you'd have to work pretty darn hard to find a place anywhere along these trails that didn't have postcard-worthy views. Did you know the Tushars are the 3rd highest mountain range in Utah, with a peak elevation of 12,174 feet. The snowpack from these mountains feed 2 different watersheds and eventually ends up in Silver Lake, which is part of the Great Basin in western Utah. Leaving Tip Top Peak, we connected up with Paiute Side Trail 13 and then the main 01 trail, which took us all the way to the top of the Tushars. Not including that gnarly Road 1045, the trails in this area are suitable for riders of all skill levels. When you ride the 13 and the 01, you'll expect to see other riders, as these trails are very popular for ATVs, side-by-sides, and even full-size vehicles. Now during this stretch, you climb what seems to be forever as you ride around Mount Belknap, Signal Peak, Mount Baldy, and eventually make it to the highest point on the trail at the pass above Bullion Pasture. On your ride up, there are some spectacular views of the canyons below, and you'll see old scars from mining roads on the sides of the mountain across the canyons. You know, in this harsh alpine terrain, it's important to tread lightly and stay on the roads and trails, because any footprints we leave out here are going to last a long, long time.
So we're standing on the top of the Tushar Mountain Range. We're currently at 11,500 feet. This may be the highest point that we go on ATVs. There may be a foot trail to go a little higher, but this is the top of the mountain right here.
South of the pass, the trail leads down a series of switchbacks to Mud Lake and Big John's Flat. You'll have amazing views of Delano Park, Bozeman Ridge, and Mount Holly, just to name a few. So after the Big John Flats area, the trail leaves the road as you take yet another 50-inch trail, Trail 26, down Sawmill Ridge. This trail is rated as most difficult, with roots, rocks, and some steep sections, making travel much slower than on the roads. Then from here we crossed Highway 153 and followed the 01 to Trail 27. This takes you alongside a very scenic meadow at Lake Stream and is another 50-inch trail. In search of a campsite for the night, we continued to Trail 29 and then found our way to the Big Flat area. So we settled in next to a fire, enjoying another night out in God's country under the stars. Now be sure to check out day 5 of our Paiute ATV adventure as we explore the Table and Fourche mountain areas. It is gonna be grand.